Hello everybody and welcome to part 2 of our brand new series on how to build your very own hoodie. In today's video we're going to be going over what materials you're going to want to pick up and how to cut them out properly to allow for seam allowance. Alright, let's get started. If you haven't watched episode 1, go up there and check it out first because you're going to be a little bit lost on where we are currently because we already went over the concept of what we want the hoodie to look like and what we want the template to look like. Alright, so go check that out if you're brand new. Thank you guys so much. Alright, so we're going to need to go in depth on what you guys need to pick up in order to make this hoodie possible. First off is going to be the materials. I picked up a white and black fabric. I got 3 yards of the black fabric and I got 1 yard of the white fabric. I'm going to be using the white fabric for half of the hood and the pocket on the stomach. I'm going to be using the black fabric for pretty much everything else. I'm not going to be using any scrunching materials on the wrists or waistline. I don't personally like that. I'm going to be doing a long line schlub look like I have in one of my shirts. I think that's probably my favorite look and I think it would look so sick on a hoodie. I've actually never seen it on a hoodie, so it's going to be very interesting. Next up, what you're going to need to pick up are water-soluble marking pencils. I got a white one and a blue one, and if the white doesn't show on the black material, which from what I'm seeing, it doesn't show all too well, and it wipes away very easily, so it doesn't look like it's going to be super accurate. I'm going to be pinning the template down instead. We don't really need this for this episode. That's going to be in part 3, which you guys are going to need to tune in on Monday. Official Monday release. I know I tried to make it all in one video. It's just really hard with the editing and stuff. It takes a long time to edit like 15-minute videos. So I just cut it into 3 parts. You will need fabric scissors. Regular scissors don't cut fabric as well as specialized scissors. So I would take a trip down to your local Joanne's, Michael's, or whatever novelty sewing place you guys have around you. You guys can also find all of these materials online or go into your local Joanne's as well. Everything you can find at Joanne's or probably Walmart, but a lot of places have like sweatshirt materials and it's pretty easy to get a hold of this stuff. Without further ado, let's grab the templates and let's try to get everything onto the materials. So what you're gonna need to cut out is 2 parts for the hood, 4 parts for the sleeves, 2 parts for the body, and 1 part for the pocket. Alright, for this part you are going to want to allow about a 1/2 inch on all sides to allow for seam allowance when you are sewing it up. And if there's too much extra, you can actually just cut it away and it will look perfectly fine. On the hood, you actually have to make sure if you want the hoods that tie up, you are going to need an extra inch on the outside to make sure you guys allow for plenty of room for that situation. Let's get started. And unfortunately, my water-soluble pencils do not work super well on my black fabric, so I'm going to pin it down. You don't need to put a ton of these in, you just need to put enough down so that it will stay in place. If there are any last minute adjustments you need to make to your hood, do them before you cut it out. Don't get discouraged if it doesn't come out exactly like you want it to on the first go. You have unlimited tries. If you want to try it again, go for it. With 3 yards, you have plenty of mistake room. Let's try to get the other side of the hood. the opposite side of the hood, what I did was I pinned it down and I just flipped it over to make sure I got both sides of the hood done. And it's really simple once you get one side done to just trace the other one with scissors. All right, now that we got the hood done, let's move on to the sleeves. Are you ready? Because we have got to make 4 of these, okay? Let's get started. I'm kind of skimping out on the needles on this one because honestly, they're not totally necessary. I could probably cut it out without the needles, but I like the stability when I cut. So let's finish this bad boy up. Remember, 1/2 inch on this one especially. You guys are gonna want probably the most allowance on the sleeves just because arm length is different for everybody and you wanna make it perfect. One sleeve down and 3 to go. Make sure you keep track of which side is which because you need 2 of each side. I made this mistake once and it kind of put me back a little bit. One really easy method to making sure that you got all 4 sides is using the actual cutout as a template as you cut. So now all you have to do is pin this down and just cut around this and it should be the 2 sides for the sleeve. First sleeve is fully cut out and sizing wise it looks pretty much on par with what I want. A little bit oversized and slimming. We're half done the sleeves. For this whole process you are definitely going to want to set aside at least an hour to make sure you guys have everything cut out properly and put together. The whole process of putting together a hoodie should take you about 2.5 hours from concept to finished product. But with this series, I will actually be kind of modifying the hoodie after episode 3. All right, so we're gonna put out episode 3. That's going to be the kind of like model 1. And then I'm gonna be modifying it with probably some patches and some other aesthetic pieces. Possibly different pockets and maybe some more intricate stuff, but I will keep you guys tuned in with that, all that stuff. You will not miss any of it. I will keep you all up to date with my hoodie progress and I'll show you guys step by step on what I end up doing, whatever it is. All right, without further ado, second half of this. That is all 4 sleeves down. Now we have to cut out the pocket. Alright, so for the final part, we will be doing the body. This is going to be the most time-consuming piece. You're going to want to leave about 1/2 inch on all sides to make sure that you have enough for seam allowance. Yet again, and you're going to want to make sure to get the correct 2 sides because this is the most material you're going to use in the whole time. And making sure is pretty crucial. You're not going to want to make that mistake more than once. Let's get cracking on this. What a headache this one was. I got poked a few times. Warning, needles are pretty sharp. This one just took a long time to do. Let's get to cutting it out. I'm going to allow for quite a bit of seam allowance on this because honestly, I just want to know it fits well. I don't want it to be too tight or anything, so I'll leave a little bit extra room for my voluptuous body. Well, this went quite a bit better than I expected. To be honest, I didn't think the paper was gonna hold up too well on the body part, but it did just fine for what we needed, and I got the template for the first side complete at least. Now, for the other side, I really hope I don't mess it up. It has been a journey. The last piece of the puzzle. I'm so excited to stop cutting and start sewing. So let's start cutting. We have finally finished cutting everything out. No more scissors. It looks crazy. This is the first time I've ever done this, like in its entirety. It looks kind of legitimate. I'm a little bit surprised. I watched a little tutorial on how to do it and then kind of did it my own way, like revamped it and did it the way I think is kind of a better way. Some of the pinning stuff wasn't used in the tutorial that I saw, but I mean, to each their own. It is my own interpretation of what my perfect hoodie is. We've got the hood. I like it a little bit oversized, so that's why it's a little bit on the larger side. I was going to go with a white pocket, but I ended up going with a black pocket. I may cut it in half and sew white on half of it and then black on the other half. Not too sure on that yet. I just figured black looks the best. And then the sleeves. I'm really proud of the sleeves because there's 4 and it was so easy to mess it up, but I think they came out great. Each of the sleeves is the perfect length, a little bit oversized and thinner because hoodie sleeves are always way too big. And here's a pinned version of it. This looks so cool. You really get the gist of what it's going to look like, the body. This was a pain in the neck. It's not perfect. It came out great. And now the only thing we have to do is sew it all together, and that will be in part 3. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys would like me to make next. I'm thinking possibly either a poncho or a long line. Not too sure. I want to know your guys' opinion on where you think this series should go. Without further ado, thank you guys so much. Hope you have a great night and peace. The fridge out.